What is that one major factor that controls your sex drive, your libido, that urge to just get it going? And how do you get that signal? How do you get that connection on demand? Now, remember the purpose of this. This was made for you to procreate, for you to pass your genes on, for you to extend your DNA into future generations. So what factors have the biggest impact on this? We know that things like health, how you take care of yourself, your stress levels, your dopamine sensors all play a very important role in this process. But there's one factor that seems to triumph over the others. So let's figure out this root of libido. And the thing about libido is there's actually a lot we don't know yet about it. It comes from the hypothalamus, but there's also other factors that are involved. It's very mental and it's very physical. And of course, there are many hormones that come into play, like cortisol. Testosterone is a huge one, and things like prolactin, which is something that most men overlook or don't even know about. So this process is clearly a bit more complicated than just on and off switch. And here's something very interesting. The sex drive actually increases in women as they age. It's been clinically shown that women have a higher desire for sex and a higher desire for more casual sex, more experimentation in the bedroom. And this is between the ages of 30 and about 45 years old. And here's the conundrum, right? Men are starting to decline in testosterone levels after they turn 30, and even more once they reach the age of 50. Now, this is counterintuitive because you'd expect men and women to be on the same schedule, right? Well, this couldn't be further from the truth, but there are things you can do in order to optimize your libido as a man or a woman, no matter what your age is. And no, it's not the latest and greatest diet. It's not this one magic pill that's gonna fix everything. It's actually a little bit more simple than that. But before I get into this, let's get into the other issues that happen when men start to lose their testosterone and aren't able to keep up with their counterparts. And it's been clinically shown that women's needs have not been getting met, especially as they get older. And this can unfortunately lead to problems in the marriage, things like infidelity, unhappiness, things you would never want to happen to anyone because they're just heart-wrenching and they're not fun. It's just disappointing to have that feeling. And personally, I've been there. I'm only 30 years old, but I've been in that situation before where I just wanted to figure it out. I wanted to know how to turn that switch on, how to just get myself going again. And I tried all the supplements, I tried all these different techniques, and I realized that a lot of it was up here. And I'm not here to scare everyone. And a lot of men in our Facebook group, including myself, had to deal with this problem firsthand and learn how to overcome it. So clearly this stuff happens. So men, be aware that this situation is very important, but you have more control over it than you may expect. And of course, testosterone is super important, but there are high T guys with lower libido and low T guys with higher libido. And this has a lot to do with their prolactin levels, their sex hormone binding globulin levels, and there's other hormones that play a large factor in this. It's not just about having the highest total T, it's about having free testosterone. Estrogen is super important because estrogen is actually one of the things that binds to the receptors that helps your body create that desire, that animalistic libido that you just crave. And the most important thing here is to look after yourself. Avoid the dad bod, which is easier said than done, right? But it's actually not that hard to do because now that you see this video, you already know that these hormones are not going to be around forever. And depending on what age you are, you could be in your 20s, you could be in your 50s, 60s, 70s. These things are in your control. And 99.9% of the time, it's not going to require any pharmaceuticals to intervene. And this isn't just about keeping your partner or your wife happy. It's about taking the right steps to keep yourself at optimal levels. It's about looking at yourself in the mirror and feeling good about what's looking back at you. And this is important as well if you have children. You want to be their role models. You want them to look up to you, to see you as a man that can provide and has that innate desire to create and to bring life and to bring things and ideas into the world. Now, that all being said, let's get into the mental side of this. And that's the part where I personally have seen the most growth and the most substantial change. Now, stress is something that a lot of men deal with, and stress is an important thing. It's allowing us to go out and create. It's making us have a sense of urgency to produce and to have deadlines and to build things in the world. Now, the problem with stress is we don't know how to manage it. We're constantly stressed. Toxic relationships are stressful. These things are going to deplete your testosterone level. And with certain practices, like for example, box breathing or rectangle breathing or yoga nidra, you can actually for free 3, work through these stressors and find a way to get your body out of that fight or flight and into the rest and digest. And I know it sounds simple, but you have to think about it more logically, right? When you are in an environment, say you're hunting, say your primal brain is activated, you're going to be looking for focus and clarity, and your body's not going to be trying to reproduce. It's going to be trying to provide and feed your family and make sure that there's enough food to provide for a wife, provide for a child. But when you're not doing this, what else are you doing? Is it alcohol related? Is it watching TV? Are you lethargic? Are you lazy? Do you feel like you're not doing enough? Those are the moments when you can better yourself. Those are the moments when you can actually improve your well-being and incorporate these practices into your daily life. Now, those moments are going to be stressful. It's not going to be stressful as in this is scary. It's going to be stressful as in your body is going to be under stress because it's going to be in a situation where it feels lazy. It doesn't feel like doing anything. And when you're in this laziness, your body starts to try and fake this sense of urgency. And we've all been there, right? The anxiety kicks in, the laziness kicks in. So we fill it with food, we fill it with drinks, we fill it with smoking you shouldn't be smoking, what have you. All these guys doing these different things, especially marijuana. That's a huge one that guys are doing that's jacking up their prolactin levels. That's causing them to have longer refractory periods and a plethora of other problems. But the biggest thing here is that when you're a man and you are with a woman that you truly love and care about, you're able to provide that intrinsic value. You're able to do things that are difficult, right? You're able to put off the instant gratification and partake in things that are difficult. Now, one of the biggest tips that you can activate now is not masturbating. Just try it. I'm not saying go on nofap. I'm just saying, especially if you have a partner, avoid ejaculation. And this is by yourself, of course, and see how you feel after 3, 4, 5 days. You're going to feel pretty wired, I would expect. I know I do. And this is what you have to tap into. This is your body's primal energy. Instead of releasing this energy all over the place, like Splooge McDuck, you need to actually focus in on what this energy can do for you. You got to feel it. As Elliot Holst says, you got to breathe in your balls, baby. You just got to take in that life force, take in that prana, whatever you want to call it, and understand that there's more to that than just the white liquid that you see come out of your tip when you get yourself a little squeezy. So here's the takeaway here. Learn how to work with your body, right? Give it proper nutrients, proper nutrition, things like zinc, selenium, things like electrolytes, magnesium, especially magnesium glycinate, magnesium bicarbonate. The salt potassium is super important as well. These will not only help regulate your prolactin levels, but they will also allow you to feel that desire. It's going to allow your body to have the nutrients necessary to send the signals from your hypothalamus to create that libido feeling. And this is purely my own experience, but when I go to bed early, if I go to bed at like 9, 10 p.m. and wake up 5, 6, 7 a.m., my libido is way higher than it would be if I were to go to bed at like 1, 2 a.m. and then wake up at like 9, 10 a.m. I have no idea why this happens. That's just my personal experience and experiences with guys like Dr. Farhan Khwaja, but this is just how we are learning this new thing because libido is so unknown. There's so many mysteries about libido, and you can go online and see guys talking about different supplements that are going to increase your libido, and that's great because they may be helping improve your testosterone, improving your blood flow. But if you don't get past the mental barriers, the mental brain barriers that are not allowing you to get that primal libido, then it doesn't matter what you take. I've been there before. I was in a relationship where I just wasn't feeling aroused, and I was so confused as to why. I learned that is because I felt stuck in the relationship and I felt like I was doing nothing productive in life. I didn't feel a sense of accomplishment at the end of the day. I just felt lost. And that sense was way more powerful than any supplement that I was trying to take to overdo that. So that is why we emphasize the importance of libido, because remember the 3 H's of health. If you're happy, if you're hungry, and you're horny, you're probably healthy. Leave a comment. Like the video, let us know what else has been a struggle for you when it comes to libido. If there's any methods you have that helps relieve that stress for you, any sort of meditations, anything like that, leave it in the comments below and make sure to like and subscribe for your health.